Need like intro music.
We do. Once after it's recorded, actually.
And all I got in my head right now is Elmo's. Elmo song.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
You're welcome, audience.
It's stuck in there now.
Hello and welcome to episode 7.
Yes.
Yeah, number 7. Today, we just decided that we're going to dive into the art of communication.
Yeah, no preparation. We're just gonna wait it.
We always do that.
What?
We always do that.
We write a script?
No.
Of course not.
That's not how we fly, baby.
Oh, I'm so stuffy.
That's okay. He's got allergies. Figuring it out. Okay. So, the art of communication. I feel like this department can apply to all of us in a sense where I know I had a hard time to communicate because I feel like in order to really communicate authentically and express exactly how you feel, you need to make sure you're communicating with somebody who makes you feel safe if you're not used to communicating. That's my experience with it anyways. I'm noticing that with not just like relationships, but like with friends and whatnot. You know, I'm able to open up and they're able to open up to me because we create a safe place to not be judged and just to be heard, and it's okay if we have a difference of opinions. That's kind of like the bottom line for me.
And I think to kind of see the other side of that is most of us build up judgments in our head more than there actually are that are like out there. So you will probably worry about what you're worrying about more than other people are going to judge you for it.
Oh yeah. And whatever you think they're thinking is actually what you think about yourself. Ooh. Did you hear that?
No, I'm so focused on mine.
Okay. I still love you.
Oxygen.
Whatever. I'll give you some oxygen. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, really good quote. What you think other people are thinking about you is actually what you think about yourself. So it's never about the other person, right? And that's another video. But yeah, I like that. The fact that, you know, we make it bigger than it needs to be. So in your experience, did you hold yourself back from communicating because of that judgment piece?
I don't think me personally, but
Like just in general?
in general, I feel like a lot of people would. Right? Nobody wants to get judged. Nobody wants to have unwanted criticism over something that they are emotionally tied to. Especially as invested as a lot of people are in, you know, their image and how people think of them, and not for obviously no reason. That's kind of the culture we've built up now, to a degree, but it's kind of understanding who you are within that, and then carving your own path. My nose is
Is it annoying you?
dying, huh? Yeah, like I'm full on like.
Nose attack?
Yeah.
You still look good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze 1,000 times any minute right now.
Do you want me to hold your coffee?
No.
We'll keep going.
We'll play coffee roulette.
You guys want to make a bet there's going to be snot coming out of his nose when he sneezes?
And to kind of touch on, there'll be snot coming out of my nose. It's already happened twice in the last, just today I think.
That's when we got
that you've
closer.
seen me.
Yeah, it was a nice
Just
long
snot
one.
hanging out of my nose. I'm just running from one part of the house to another trying to find Kleenex. We got prepared. This is as much as we prepped for this.
Okay.
Coffee and Kleenex.
Okay. And laugh attacks. Okay. So that being said, the art of communication. I think that it's really important to listen. So if we break it down into like fundamental steps, when you're communicating with someone, it's a two-way street, right? So communication takes one listener and one person to speak. And when, you know, depending on if you're speaking or not, I think it's important to be comfortable expressing how you feel, but then also when the other person's talking, and was really hard for me, it took me years and years, and I'm still practicing this, but it's called active listening, and that will enhance your communication skills. So instead of trying to answer on top of them, you actually fully are present and you listen to them. And then once they're done, you communicate. And this will help to prevent a lot of arguments that are happening, because a lot of people in communication never feel heard, because we're always in the conversation to answer somebody, not to truly listen to them. So really, I find the art of communication for myself has been really to truly listen to the other person, because I would always want to jump in with what I had to say and would dismiss them in a sense.
Yeah.
You ever find yourself like that?
I'm bad for that. I do that all the time.
That's okay.
To you.
That's okay. Yeah.
I cut you off.
We're
but that's
working
just
on it.
more so that because I know I'm gonna forget if a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to like get that thing in.
Yeah.
Which is also really bad.
That's okay.
But
we've communicated that, and we're working on it. And it's like about being comfortable enough to kind of tell your partner or relationship, parents, family, friends, whatever it may be, that it hurts you when they do that, because some people are not aware, right? So you need to kind of also make sure that you communicate what triggers you and what doesn't, and you guys have to come to a common ground in a sense.
And this is all from learned experience.
Yeah.
Because we are not perfect in our communication, but it's also everything's always a work in progress, and it gets better the more you work on it. So things become a lot easier, and you start to understand the other person a lot more and what they need, and how to listen and how to communicate what you want. There's a lot of times too when we have conversations where we'll kind of like stop and be like, are you saying this, or
repeating
whatever, and like just kind of summarizing it, but just saying like, I might be totally off, but are you talking about this thing? And it's like, no, it's it's just more clarification.
Yeah, because what you're saying sometimes will trigger something in the past that maybe somebody else said, and it brings up a trigger in me, so I either get angry or like think he means a certain thing. So instead of bundling it and suppressing it inside of our bodies, because that's where you suppress, I actually bring it up and I say, is this what you meant? And then there's clarity. So I think there's a lot of miscommunication happening when you don't ask deeper questions. So it's like asking questions to understand. Okay, here's another thing too. Are you asking questions to understand, or are you asking questions to prove your point? Like, do you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? That's another thing too, is like when we're trying in a conversation to always prove ourselves right and come from this like defense mechanism, it makes the other person very either shut down or fight against that. And it's like an crazy, intense match of trying to like talk on top of each other.
A fight instead of a conversation. Right?
Yeah.
Communication starts with like being able to listen. It's not just yelling over each other or blaming each other for other things or whatever. It's being able to have tough conversations,
honest,
just like this,
and I think
in a calm manner. I mean, like, obviously there's a lot of emotion there, and like even for us a lot of the times we'll say what we need to say and then like just kind of take a few seconds apart or just silence. That's mainly me.
No.
No, there's just like
you're
you
introverted.
need time to digest, right? Because like your first notion is going to be something emotional or like more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more attacking than normal.
Yeah, so you have to have the patience and respect the personal space of the other person if they need time to digest. That's something I learned, because I don't know if it's a woman thing, but wanting to know right away and having that conversation head on is what I like to do. He does it differently, so I had to learn to respect his needs of the communication and time to process. So that's a two-way street of understanding who you're communicating to, what they need, and honoring that for them. And another tool that I use too is, and I use this not just in like relationships or friendships, but in coaching too, or if I ever have to express it to someone of how they made me feel, instead of being like you, because it feels like they're being threatened, you bring it back to yourself. So I can't really give an example off the top of my head right now, but it's almost bringing it back to, I felt like this, when this was said. Instead of being like, you made me feel a certain way. You notice the difference in the language is one's very egoistic and like pointing fingers, the you part, versus
part of
shifting
communication, right? It's like understanding how to shift how you talk, not just being able to talk, right? You have to be able to have the hard conversations, and understand that the words that you pick actually matter.
Yeah, right? They can hurt somebody. We're teaching.
Well, yeah.
We're teaching Dwight that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was listening, and then I'm obviously forgetting now because I was listening. You can process your, like, instead of communicating right away, you can take time to yourself to process. This is what I noticed with Taylor, because he's bringing up a lot of triggers. So instead of communicating, which is a good thing, it's a healthy thing. So instead of like communicating it to him right away, I sit with it and I ask myself more questions and I let myself feel and navigate through that before I have a communication with him. And I'm an Aries, so Aries are like fire starters and they're like deal with things head on, and could be very high strung. And in the past, I would just like talk about and blow through everything without being conscious of the people around me and how it was affecting how they felt. So that's another tool too, is like process how you're feeling first before you communicate, and doesn't come off so like blameful and hurtful. And you can also journal about it too. That's been a really good tool for me before talking to the person.
And like a lot of times when we have like a disagreement in our communication, and something like that happens where you do take like a minute to say it, like a lot of the times when you're sitting with it, we'll just kind of part ways for a little bit and then we'll come back to it. And then I'm not going to say like you always come around to like what I'm saying, but a lot of the times when either one of us do that, we realize that our first, you know what I mean, we're going down that emotional path of like just instantly reacting, and then we came back and we're like, oh, okay, no, like you're right, I was getting hot-headed or whatever, and then move forward. It'll stop you from a lot of arguments. You'll feel way better because like, you know, it's the same thing with like trying to understand what your partner wants in any aspect, or even just a friend. It doesn't really matter. But if you're asking them like, you know, what's your favorite color, what do you like to do, what's this, like you're trying to find information about that person in the first place. And when you do that with your partner and you tell them what you like or what you want, it makes that relationship you know, a little bit more rich.
I get these moments. Can you give me that look that you give me when I'm not telling you something because I'm being stubborn? Can you give the audience the look that you give me?
What?
The look that you give me when I'm not telling you something? And like, you know something's wrong?
That's like a not on demand sort of thing.
Okay. There's a certain look that he gives me when, when he knows something's up, because he's very intuitive, and you guys are probably the same too. If you're connected to your emotions, you know, you're very intuitive, and you know there's something going on with your partner, right? But the partner is like afraid to speak, and maybe needs time to process things, so she's not hot-headed. But that circles back to obviously giving that person time to process, you know?
Yeah. That's good.
Hi. Any other tools, baby, that you can think of? My communication master over there.
Practice having hard conversations.
Yeah, I try to dodge those.
They will make you a better person, a better communicator, and you will feel 100 times better after finding out the right information, especially when you continually think that something else is totally the reality. Because a lot of that, especially there's a lot of times where we are thinking that people think a certain way, and just by asking them a certain question, you get to find out that they don't think that way, and you were worried for nothing.
And then you create more awareness within you, and then you're like, well, what within me, why did I feel that way, in a sense, right? So you're able to do a little bit of a deep dive within yourself and your own journey to really self-reflect. Reflect on yourself, love yourself. Yeah. We think
quarantine things. My brain is jello, my allergies are nuts, and I just want the sun and warm weather.
I know, I'm ready for that too. How you guys doing on your quarantine? I know I can't hear you, but I feel you.
Let us know in the comments down below.
What does Dwight say? Give us a big thumbs up and don't forget to ring the bell. Oh yeah, so if you want, our kid started a YouTube channel called D-Man Adventures. We've got one video on there, still working on the logo. And he is a hilarious kid. Like, so funny. I love him. So if you want to support him, that would be amazing. And we'll start posting videos on his channel too. So yeah, communication. Right. That's about it, I think.
Oh, we could talk about this again in like a couple months. It'll be totally different. It'll be totally else. But I mean, just like kind of some basic stuff.
To get you thinking.
Fundamental things.
Yeah.
Some shit you can put on the background while you cook dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't cook dinner.
Mm-hmm. Or making your coffee in the morning. If you drink coffee or tea.
Or while you do your workout, you know, you just listen to us chat.
Oh yeah?
Get really annoying and then you hear like every 2 minutes. Oh my god. Trust me, I wish if I could change it, I would.
Oh, it's okay, boo-boo. Cheers, guys.
Oh, my wrist just cracked. Getting old. See you later. Bye. Love you.
Love you. Thanks, boo.